Welcome back to the VR League Onward Invitational, brought to you by Intel. One map down in our first proper big old match of the day, which sees beginners show that, yeah, they can do this.
Yeah, and SMC Tactical definitely putting up a good showing here as well, so I'm expecting a real competitive map coming up here on Bazaar.
Yeah.
It's really fun watching these guys battle it out so competitively, using these different strategies to pinch and call out different angles and get picks, completely shutting down north pushes like this. It's always, I'm glad that the spectating's been going so well and that everything's been going so great today. It's been a lot of fun. There's
somebody who's been going great as well. There's Captain sort of bodying people, and even his own team are amazed at how well he's playing with them.
Yeah.
You don't expect that from someone coming in. You call them in, and you just hope they do enough, right? You hope they don't, drop down to a degree that's going to hinder you. You just hope that, all right, we'll see what they can do. It's a benefit if anything else. And honestly, he's played, his heart out so far. So credit where it's due.
And he's standing in for their captain sickness, so they've lost their IGL as well. So as a team, they were telling me they came here thinking, well, perhaps our expectations of this are not as high as we would like them to be, but we can make something happen here.
Yeah.
Well, they are 1-0 down in this, but we think they might be able to turn it around. We're going to Bazaar next. So talk to me about Bazaar.
Yeah.
This was beginners' first ban yesterday. They banned it out straight away when they were playing up against Mob Squad. Now, is that a beginners being not confident on this map, or Mob Squad is a team you wouldn't play on it because of Arsenic, perhaps?
I think that Mob Squad is just so strong that to have all these different angles that you can get shot from, there are really long angles as well that kind of play into Arsenic's advantage with that scope. And so to pick into that, I think that's why they were avoiding it with Mob Squad. Now that we have it, I'm really excited because it's such a unique map amongst all the other ones. There's so much penetrable surface. All the wood can be shot through. It takes a couple more bullets to kill you, though, but if you can
it reduces damage, but it is penetrable.
Correct, but if you can see players through wood, you can see the slivers of their dark uniforms or their Marsoc uniforms, and you take those shots, that's a free kill, basically. So it opens up a lot of avenues to get shot from, but also a lot of avenues to push from as well.
Look, I'm a fan of the map because it reminds me of Call of Duty 4 map. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, you are at home.
If any of you are old enough to remember, it's not that old, but I mean, City Streets and District was very similar to this, even with having that middle market that was super penetrable. You could get the damage through. It gives me those flashbacks to playing that a long time ago. So I love the way it plays out.
Right now.
I actually am, because even like the outskirts of the map, it's way more kind of... I guess you can utilize a lot more of the map. It's not so one-dimensional as it was back then in Call of Duty in the version of my mind. But I love these sort of concepts. I think when you have these clear lines, it works really well in FPS games. You have that kind of middle area that's contested, that's almost a 50-50 to a degree. But if you get it, that gives you access to so many new avenues throughout the map, and especially with a kind of non-static bombs like this game has. It's so exciting to see this huge potential on this map, and I'm really glad to be seeing it.
And there's so many different tight corners around almost every objective spawn. So there's so much opportunity to cap around walls, sneak in there, get prone, maybe use some smokes, utilize yourself to get into a position that players aren't expecting or they can't see. So you're going to see a lot of slow tactical play when they get close to objective. But yeah, this map is real interesting because of all those alleyways, because of all the different angles you can approach the
windows, and you've got verticality, because it's not just one flat floor here. You've got the other sides of the buildings that you can get up to. There's so much going on. I want to see real teams do it. No offense to the show, Matt. They were good. You did great. Round of applause, etc. But honestly, I just really want to see two very good teams right now who are playing a very good brand of game coming out and showing what this map can actually really do.
You're also going to see on the beginner's side Sinkus, who is on stage in substituting in for Woods, which as far as I'm aware is just a tactical choice for this map and playstyles. So yeah, Sinkus is in and Woods is out for beginners for this map. Do you think that's an extra complication for SMC to deal with?
Yeah, it could be. It seemed like subbing in players worked pretty effectively for SMC in particular. You bring in Captain Soda, and he's been doing really well, coming into some interesting flanks, and maybe they might not have footage on their new sub here, so it'll be interesting to see what they can pull out.
Yeah, I'm expecting good things from Sinkus, actually, but he's got a team who are now on the up. You've got this momentum with them, so I think that'll pick him. I think they'll be like, okay, actually we're on a bit of a charge here, and I would, if I had to walk into a team who were halfway through a game, I'd rather be on one who are 1-0 up, not 1-0 down.
It's true.
Yeah.
Stating the obvious, obviously. You go on Facebook, we'd love to know who you think is going to win between beginners and SMC, and we'll get you that second map any moment now. Remember, this is just the first big match of today, show match notwithstanding. Well done, show match. It was actually really good, though. It was fun. Beginners.
It's not 50-50 anymore.
Wow.
Well, good.
Hey,
Some of you thinking beginners are going to win. Well, they are 1-0 up. So, yeah.
You've got those real, hard-hitting votes coming through. Winners.
ESL.gg/SMC versus Beg. If you think SMC are going to turn this thing around, get in on Facebook and vote and say so.
I just want to.
Wasn't expecting beginners to go 2-0 on this though. Yeah?
No, but I want. So you know the new player who's coming in, right? The transfer.
Yeah.
Who was the player who came in yesterday? And they switched one up. It was on Suburbia. He came in super aggressive. What was his name? It's completely lost me. But he came in and he played, with the SMGs as such, a very aggressive role. They brought him as almost like a specialist. Yeah. We want to just throw him in as that wild card.
That's right.
And I'd love to see something like that here with a map like this as well. So many alleyways, so many angles. You could maybe get some of those flanks going if you really feel it. We saw James doing it in the show match. I mean, if he can make it work, then I'd love that. I'd love that.
We haven't explored a lot of these classes that you can choose and how some players might be suited to certain ones more than others. We'll come back to that, either with beginners through to the next match or a third map between them. One way or another.
Third map.
Bowie and Radar take us to what we hope might be a third map.
Thank you very much indeed. We are just getting underway with our second map. As the analyst desk did point out, it is going to be on Bazaar. And it's going to be nice to see, as it was put, real teams. Play it. So how obviously you were playing it today. Obviously, you played the game quite a lot. What are our teams going to be looking for here in Bazaar?
Bazaar can go one of two ways. It can be a really, really quick map. There's so many different points to cover. You can go from zigzagging to the objective and beyond the objective in 10-15 seconds if the other team aren't ready for you. Alternatively, we're probably more likely to see, especially for beginners, it's slow push like they like to do. SMC may be more with an aggression. The thing with Bazaar is very much like was pointed out by Alex. There are so many angles to cover. Every direction. Verticality is involved. It's a great, great map for smokes. And here we are to map 1.
It's very calm.
Map 2.
That was very nice, kind of like relaxed and calm. Welcome to map 2. Okay, so we can see our objective just on this lower portion, centralized lower portion. At the current point, SMC Tactical going around the west side at this point. Kind of keeping that, again, a nice clean line. Very, very deep from Captain Sota. He does get a KO across the map there into the center of that point. Sota making his way inside the building, throwing some shots out. Peasley just round to the side of him. Needs to be careful as he makes his next decision.
I think we're going to get a reset.
Another reset?
Yeah, we're getting a reset, unfortunately.
Okay.
Not really sure what happened, but...
you were looking to the left, did you see?
Yeah, I could just see some communication going, tapping on shoulders, communication happening. I think, unfortunately, we've run into some kind of technical difficulty.
Okay.
I'll just remind everyone again, this is pioneering technology and a pioneering event, so these hiccups happen.
Okay, we're going to get that sorted for you as soon as possible, get it diagnosed and then fixed ASAP.
So more about Bazaar. Basically, there's a lot of walls.
It's a great time to talk about it.
There's a lot of different buildings you can get into with more than one level. So and buildings that allow you to cross across areas. So you can actually go through a building out the other side, which means you can use that as cover. There's verticality, so you can go up to another level and gives you more of a sweeping view of certain areas of the map. Other things like walls, there's lots of walls you can get behind, but which have bricks missing, so you can poke through, have a look, poke over the top. There's lots of ambush points you can set up as a defender. But the problem as a defender on this map, as you may have seen in the show match, was that there are just so many angles of approach that it's just really intimidating to try and cover any of it effectively.
Yeah, either to cover it or to indeed make a play on a particular location because you just don't know if it's covered or not.
Yeah. But this is one of those maps, much like Suburbia and Cargo, and unlike Quarantine and Downfall, where the attacker isn't necessarily at that big of a disadvantage because they have so many angles of attack.
Yeah, sure.
So, something like Downfall, which we haven't seen yet, or Quarantine, which we have seen yet, we saw a lot of really successful defenses, especially yesterday on Quarantine.
Yeah.
You'll see that probably on Bazaar, the defenders aren't in such a strong place just because, again, even though they can set up those beautiful ambushes might be on completely the wrong side of the map.
Sure.
And you may have seen, as they point out, James did some great flanks. Entire teams can flank around the entirety of the map. You could show yourself on the west, flank all the way to the northeast, around the south, to get behind an objective. And the enemy team are unlikely to see that flank, and you can just reposition with all the time in the world.
Yeah, sure. Makes it very, very exciting, very, very dangerous, but of course, I mean, volatile in a good sense. It keeps you on your toes as a player at all times, and makes for some very intense matchups.
Yeah, it's a really fun map to play.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, we haven't seen it thus far in the main event, so to kind of have it there, I know that yourself and Nightfire have been showing a lot of excitement to see it being played, by these teams, and to see what the depth of the strategies they can bring out and really execute at the level that they need to play to get these victories. So,
well, it's interesting. We saw it banned out in every game yesterday, and the reason why is because it's such an anomaly tactics-wise, because of the fact that as a defender you have a really hard time. And these teams they prefer to have tactics set in place for these maps, and a map like this, it's really hard to have reliable tactics.
Yeah. I think just the lights down there just kind of really, I don't know, it seems quite cool to seeing the lights of our not the actual sensors, but the bars between the sensors there, really kind of giving some real atmosphere to the space there as our players are just pacing around waiting for the next round.
It just looks fantastic down there.
Oh, absolutely,
really
yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of VR and you've been playing at home, maybe playing the game, communicating with your friends, and playing maybe even Onward, online with your friends. I think maybe see a setup like this and a LAN event like this, and it can be quite a spectacle for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the people who are here watching this, you're seeing all these people stood in front of you doing all these crazy things, throwing grenades and diving on the floor. It's just it's something you don't see ever, really.
Yeah, especially if you're new to VR as well, maybe you haven't either engaged in it or even seen it at all. To kind of see the length that these players go to get the right shot, to get the right angle, to get the right everything. To communicate and as we were talking about, cohesively work together as a team. It's very cool. I know it's a very, I guess, simplistic word to throw out, but it is just.
It is cool. It is very cool. One of the interesting aspects of all this physicality is that you will actually, players, especially the league players and stuff, when they're in these positions of high intensity and it's win or lose and it matters for them, there's points involved, and obviously here it matters even more. Yeah. You will find yourself in physical pain. You'll put yourself in a position where you're resting on an elbow.
Yeah.
And it hurts, you're in a weird angle, you're lining up that shot, but you can't afford to move, and you actually have to have like the staying power and the fortitude to hold this position, which is really uncomfortable. You might be there for 4 minutes waiting for someone to cross your path, and it's hurting the entire time. Yeah,
and then you have to have that patience. I know it's kind of a bit of a extreme leap, but when you hear those stories about how long and how much patience maybe snipers, as we all have to do to kind of wait for an extended period of time to get that shot. Yep. You hear stories about it, but of course, it's quite an extreme push.
No, we've got a 6-minute gap here, but you're absolutely right. It's a good analogy for something that that we see.
The scale may be different, but the comparison isn't entirely far-fetched. No. I'd like to think, but that's kind of why we're here, I guess, to try our best to make it at least palatable or kind of understandable or recognizable to those who may not kind of get immediately, just how far these players have to go to get what they need.
Persevere through pain and the patience. You mentioned the patience. Now, other esports, obviously Rainbow Six and Counter-Strike, require a lot of patience, obviously, on defensive rounds, and ever more so here as well, because you have that psychological effect of physically holding your body in a certain position. Like I said, taking the pain aspect out of it, it takes a lot of patience to not look away. Again, with a keyboard and mouse, you just don't have to move that mouse, right? You can just keep your hand still. Yeah. But when you're looking down that sight and you're holding the gun in front of you, it's really easy with your head just to do that, just to, look, and that's an added tactical thing, right, in VR. You can look over your shoulder, you can look over the side, you can lean around.
That's very true.
But the fact of the matter is, if you're covering that corner, you have to remember, you have to be lasered in like this, holding the two controllers in front of you like this. Again, in FPS, you just don't move the mouse.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday as well. It sounds like we're always talking about things, but it's because we are. You were saying, the physical acuity of, having to just kind of have all of that in control. Some of the players aren't using the stock as we've been talking about, and how much, when they are waiting, they are literally holding their arms up for an extended period of time to hold on to these shots and these moments, and it does take a lot more out of you than you might think. I think one thing that I heard a very, very lovely phrase about it, and that was, putting the sport back into esports, or not back into it, but putting the sports in esports. There is this physical element to it that is much more accentuated than anything we've seen before. So it's it's good to see the players physically engage with these things and really, engage in that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it can't be understated just how the physicality of these players affect their quality. Sometimes you might be really good at certain elements, but there's one element of your physicality that isn't up to scratch compared to other players who have that ability to get into the weird positions or to hold their aim straight.
Sorry, you make a great point, and it's making me smile because it makes me realize how much I enjoy playing VR games. I mean, for a lot of people, it's brought them back into video games. You've seen a few people interviewed, I think, on Mob Squad said, I've been playing games for a long time, and then VR has brought me back in. And when you start thinking of all the physicality ththings, all the things you're capable of, in a shooter, it adds all these tactical dimensions which can't exist outside of virtual reality. But it doesn't just apply to games like this. There's a broad spectrum of games out there now that you just can't do outside of VR, which just bring you back into the video games and make me feel like a child again when I first got my first console or my first computer. That amazement that washes over you. And I know you haven't had a chance to get on the floor and try out the setup they've got down there. But hopefully you get a chance later. It really is such a great setup.
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of, I guess, the community aspect of it. Everyone's here, everyone knows. They're all kind of like up for it, and they're all kind of excited to see people try it as well if they haven't tried it before. So there is this kind of, I guess, this positive energy that kind of about the medium as a whole, which kind of like really is nice to see.
It's a buzz, I'd say. It's got a nice positive buzz to it.
For sure. Seems like most of our players are getting back into position.
We're seeing some smack talk going on here between SMC and beginners.
Kentai's he's getting back into real life for this one. Whoa.
I'm taking the headset off right now.
Saying that he does log in to VR to the new reality.
So I was speaking to some of the players actually, and they're saying that when they're inside, and I kind of touched on it yesterday, but when they're inside the VR and they are playing for extended times, then they've played a map series, and it might have gone 4-3, so they've been there for like an hour, maybe the better part of an hour. They've been inside that virtual world. The only time they've done this before has been at home.
Yeah.
Right. So they're in this virtual world, and subconsciously, that's the only time they associate. Subconsciously, you've got this connection with the virtual reality at home.
Yep.
So they've got this virtual reality. They're in that world. All they can hear is what's in the game because of the noise-canceling headphones they're using. All they can see is inside the game. So when they take these headsets off, sometimes it's quite jarring for them because they're like, oh God, I'm actually in an arena. I'm here with all these people still around me and these cameras on me, and it can be quite jarring for them because, again, that's one of the things of virtual reality is it's reality.
So obviously, whilst we're here talking about the depth that VR games do bring to our players, let's have a look at some other VR available, and let's have a little look at Echo Arena coming to the VR League.
In zero gravity, players fly faster. Passes go farther. Strikes hit harder. Stakes get higher. And victory tastes sweeter. This is Zero G in the Echo Arena.
Experience multiplayer in Zero G. Echo Arena coming to the VR League on the 18th of August. It's going to be quite exciting there to play that one. It looks really, really cool, that zero gravity.
It does, it really does. And I'm going to try that when I get home, definitely. Yeah? Look at Sinky here. He's on beginners. He's actually in his in the show reel. He said, I'm not going to be stressed in this. I'm not going to feel stressed.
Lands don't bother him, no.
I've played enough of this game that I know my stuff. And you can just see him. He's got a smile on his face. He's rocking backwards and forwards happily.
Yeah.
And he's ready. He's relaxed. He's been brought in.
You've got Soto on the other side. Just all, he's all geared up. And he's just like, all right.
Oh, look how intimidating he is.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Wow.
It's just like, come on, bring it. bring it on. He's there. They may be down one map, but they are still very, very ready for this game.
That's a very, very Call of Duty look right there.
Mm-hmm. He's feeling good. He's feeling happy. Just trying to not let the situation kind of, weigh him down.
I'm going to put it out there. I think underneath that, his nerves. I think that's covering like a jaw, the trembling lips. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh my God! I'm so scared.
He's standing there looking intimidating, but on the inside, he's jelly.
Yeah.
Little jelly man. But no, I'm kidding. I'm sure he's a consummate professional.
No, of course. These players have been playing this a long time, and regardless of where they are, they're going to go out there and do the thing they do best, and that is play Onward, because these are 4 of the best teams out there for Onward who have been invited here to the Leicester studio for ESL UK to play in the Onward Invitational. We currently have waiting in grand finals for who will make it through the losers bracket. We do have Globochem, and in the losers finals we have Mob Squad waiting for the winner of these two, SMC Tactical or Beginners. Remember as well that you can enter a draw to win an Oculus Rift set complete with sensors and touch pads, I believe.
Yep.
Control pads. If you go to esl.im/donate, you will be supporting the cause. That is Stack Up. They are a charity who support both military vets, both either in service or having completed their service and re-acclimatizing to civilian life. And let's have a little look at the work that Stack Up do.
Name's Elliot Alcantara, Staff Sergeant retired, U.S. Army. Almost 13 years time in service, 40 months total spent between Iraq and Afghanistan. For me, in those hours where once everything's done, there's nothing literally left to do. You've worked out, you've done all your schoolwork, this and that, those chill hours, they're chill to other people, but they're not always chill to me. That's the times where my mind gets real loud. Sit there and you get into those dark places and all that, and you get stuck in there. Playing those things where I have to just be on top of it, it's a good way for me to center on something, focus on something. It's something that is endless ability to pull me back in, right back into the world, take me out of those different spots. The people that I got to meet along the way and going through some of those different gameplays and doing all that stuff, man, it's awesome. I saw them doing the call to arms and all of that, so I had no clue that Stack Up was any of that before, but right there on the forums is Stack Up information. I ended up getting linked up with you guys, and now seeing what you're doing, really awesome.
Amazing work, obviously, by Stack Up. So as I did say, if you do want to support, any amount obviously does help. So if you do want to donate, just $5 will enter you into the draw for the Oculus Rift. But of course, you can get involved in other ways. So make sure if you can't donate, you can obviously volunteer some time. Go ahead to stackup.org to find out a little bit more information about how you can get involved. Of course, it's a pleasure to have them here supporting us, and obviously it's a pleasure for us to support them for the Onward Invitational as part of the VR League.
What a great tagline. Veterans are our mission, gaming is our passion.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's incredible service, obviously, that those men and women, give to their country, and that's obviously very, very noble of us to, noble of us. It's noble of them to do that, and obviously we're more than happy to do our best to give back to people who sacrifice so much for us. So obviously. Do help out however you can. We are hoping you are enjoying the cast at home. We are just in the middle of a slight pause between the games as we're just going to sort out the last few issues before we get back in to Map 2, which is currently on Bazaar for Onward. If you are just joining us, if you have missed out a little bit about what's going on, Onward is a milsim style first-person shooter, 5v5. With a movable object, 2 teams, Volk on defense and Marsoc on offense. Points gained obviously by eliminating teammates or enemy teams or by capturing objectives. The goal is to get to 4 points to win a map. And we're doing best for 3 maps.
Yes, we are.
That's the basic intro to Onward.
There's multiple classes for each team, different weapon sets for each team. And you also have to balance what you take into a map because you have 8 points to spend. different things like full metal jacket or armor-piercing rounds add to that cost. Body armor, night vision, smoke grenades, etc., etc. So you have to really balance what you're going to take into a mission, and it really takes some coordination between the team to make sure they have the right setup of things. Do we have the guy with the LMG to make the noise? Do we have the guy with the smoke grenades, etc., etc., etc.? So that takes coordination as well.
Yeah. So as I said, we are just here on the floor as we're going to sort some things out. What we're going to do is just take a very, very short break, and we will be back with the continuation of this losers semis match. And I will see who will be joining Mob Squad in the losers finals in a little bit. Do not go anywhere, guys. We'll see you soon.
Ready the team. Aim for victory. Fire up the payload. Join the open beta at oculus.com/EchoCombat.
Flying with us today. The captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please remain seated, get ready for takeoff, and enjoy the flight.
An operative must first be skilled in the art of deception. Once mastered, this ability can be used to harvest intel and build trust with suspects. An operative must learn to rely on their team. Helping each other may be the only way out of a hostile situation. And remember, there's always another way. You're going to need it.
When you commit to a path, I guess you were on your own. Follow your dreams to a place, a space, the grace that takes you home. But let me tell you, through
Welcome back, everybody, to the Onward Invitational here in Leicester, in the UK. We are well underway into the beginning of the losers bracket here. We've got SMC Tactical versus Beginners. It is 1-0 currently to Beginners after having a very interesting first game. They got a cap early on to go 2-0 up. We had SMC Tactical level the score at 2-all, and then Beginners push out for a 4-2 victory. They are one map up now, and they're going to be jumping straight back into the first round of our second map. We've got 10 seconds before this neutral part is done, and we're going to be getting underway with this map on Bazaar. As we've talked about throughout the day, this is a very difficult map. Loads of angles, a lot of verticality, a lot of excitement going on. We've got Killinger, Smoils, and Kensai pushing up the center here, it seems.
Oh, Smile's doing a really risky move across here, running across the road. Even though he doesn't get taken down, that's risk. Anyone to his right in the open could have taken him down. Yeah. And there's an assumption of where the enemy squad has spawned, and they're in. I mean, to Smile's right are two enemies who could take him down from the position. Maybe they spotted him. No, he's got cover in between. He's good. He's good.
So Beginners, who are 1-0 up overall, playing on the side of Volk, they will be defending here that central point. They are using the same objective as earlier as well, which is quite nice.
So it's worth reminding players, I mean, you can see BF getting a good, he's trying to get a pick off there of someone near the objective. Now it's worth reminding that any bits of wood that you see on this map can be fired through. It lowers the damage for bullets to go through, but it's worth remembering that.
I believe it's about 75% damage of the normal bullet fire, so that's quite a decrease. Yeah. If you're looking at 2-3 bullets maybe.
But it's worth it, you know, especially if you can get that blind fire through something and take someone down. It's so rewarding.
See our players.
Again, a map with lots of verticality as well as lots of rooms and lots of different angles. It's a really challenging map to defend against and a great one to attack on.
Yeah. So you can definitely get a little bit creative and a little bit fun with with the angles you can find. A minute and a half in though, no tags just yet. Everyone's still alive right now. A little bit of fire being thrown out. Quite tentative start.
Yep. It's worth reminding everyone that this, if SMC lose this map, they are going home. That is the end for them.
Yeah, they will take fourth place here. All players playing.
And that is an attacker down, picking up a kill, but he's been zeroed in now. Yep. Lando Jotting, laying down suppressing fire, then getting to cover very, very quickly, concisely.
It's good stuff from him there.
Yep.
Kind of staying in the darkness here, making his way through towards the end of this building, just kind of trying to find aim outside this open door.
He's about 15 meters away from the objective. There are 3 Marsoc down. He's just down. Yep.
There was I think it was a trade from 2 players. One player has been downed on Beginners, but a kill on SMC Tactical.
I would be surprised to see that player picked up because his position is across the road. I mean, someone has to cross in the open to get him up.
Lando just throwing out 2 smoke grenades there just to kind of cover his approach if he does want to leave here. There is, if you look on the map though, a very small orange arrow as there is a Beginner player very near to Landon Jordan.
And that pickup is real. He crossed the road and didn't get taken down. There was no one there to punish them. So there's 5 defenders still up, 3 attackers.
Yeah. Beginners may manage to res their teammate who fell. Ooh, a little bit of aggression there. A Beginner player is down now.
Smoils taken down.
Wow, look how close Lando.
Wow.
Lando Calrissian.
Kensai doesn't know he's there. Look, Kensai's direction is looking, I mean, he'll still catch Lando, but you can see from the way he's looking that he's looking at a more diagonal angle, covering near where Smoils actually went down.
I think maybe he knows he is there because he did see the smoke grenades come out. If Kensai was just a little bit along this side, you do have Killinger though over here on this far side. They've got him pinned down. If Killinger stays in position, if these two have views across the whole thing, they'll be able to just cover Lando's options here. And on an option coverage is really important.
Yeah. I'm not convinced. I don't think Kensai knows he's there. Oh, but he might be hearing the footsteps. Or he would have heard that, definitely. And they are literally a meter away from each other.
Killinger.
Oh, Lando
puts it in there. Killinger gets the KO.
Wow. See, that's a refrag right there. Even though Killinger didn't go down, I mean, Landon gave away his position. Yeah, I think Kensai punishing it immediately.
Yeah, he moved across to the other side, and unfortunately Killinger was just there, so Kensai was like, right, move in.
Yeah. Ponecake now, real brave push into the open. Smiles is down, so there's no coverage across the road. He'll be able to do a complete cross unless Killinger does a peep on him right now. Meanwhile, the other remaining Marsoc player is doing a nice flank around the south of the map.
Yeah, you can see him very, very low. Trying to keep himself as far away as possible. That is Honey Half. He is...
He's moving moving in without any challenge at the moment.
Yep. There is a singular beginner player facing inwards towards the objective. He can maybe get taken out by Honeyhalf, you know, should he know to make the aggression.
Wow, listen, that player who went down earlier was rezzed there. It's Peasley, I believe, and he's real close to Honeyhalf. Do they know that each other's there? Oh, he's on the other side of the wall.
Wow, that is...
Oh, they are a meter away from each other, maybe 2.
That is nuts.
They don't know. They don't know that they're so close to each other. Look at this Pone Cake and Kensai squaring off.
Oh, wow, he ran past and there's nothing there. There's Peasley, Honeyhalf. That's really good for Peasley.
Kensai gets taken down. Pone Cake gets taken down.
He's not dead, though. Just a down. Oh, no, good for him, man. He gets taken down there.
No. Peasley's patience paying off. He climbed up the steps.
SMC Tactical Eliminator beginners take that first round of map 2. 1-0 to them.
Smiles throwing out another celebrationally dance there.
He's happy with that one. It's good. You know, they're trying to redeem the loss they had yesterday, that 2-0 victory for Mob Squad. Maybe in their head, as we were saying, you know, they did play well, but it just didn't go in their favor, and now they're really showing that.
Will it continue? Will it continue? Will SMC bounce back?
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say no. I think beginners are going to take this. I think Lauren said she thought SMC were going to take this. I have to be in complete disagreement with that. Beginners are a force to be recommended. Now, in the past, SMC's got a good record against beginners, but beginners have a better record overall. Win-loss ratios. So I really think this is going to go beginners' way. They've got a map in hand. They've got a round in hand. They're on attack now.
Yeah. I mean, if they can clear out a cap, that's 3-0, and they'll be defending. So
and this is a map,
really powerful point.
It really is. And this is a map that caps happen on possibly more than any other map in Onward, because there are so many angles to cover, because you can sneak up to the objectives from so many different directions. On almost all of the objectives, there's cover around almost all of the uplink points. So this is one of those maps where we see much more caps. Caps, uplinks.
It's going to be interesting to see as well, you know, when we get to round 3 and and potentially round 5, where that objective is going to bounce to, because obviously the objective is not static; it does move around the map. So, you know, is this? I'll have to ask you in that case: is this particular positioning for this objective right now? Is this one of the easier or the harder of the map to cap, in your opinion?
That's a good question.
It doesn't have to be the absolute truth.
It's definitely not the hardest one to defend or attack. You know what? The thing about Bazaar is that they're all about equal. They're all, unlike other maps where some of the objectives are really hard to defend.
Yeah, sure.
On Bazaar, they're all kind of hard to defend. There's no 1 or 2. Okay, we're into round 2.
Okay, let's listen into SMC Tactical and see what kind of comms are going through their team right now. So far,
I'll give them any picks.
There we go.
Do that warning not to give up any picks. That means don't run out in the open and get picked off. Keep to cover. Don't do anything silly.
Yeah. A very important thing here, you know, when you are defending, you can't give them the edge they need to get those caps. Very important communication there.
Stand there. Shoot in the window.
It's kind of interesting as well, being here live in the room. I can hear them talking and how loud they're talking, but actually how loud it comes out to a player and their proximity to another. I think it's really highlighting just the specificity of the proximity comms.
Yeah, he's not using his walkie-talkie there. He's just literally speaking to the guy next to him. Again, communication and the audio in this cannot be stressed enough how important it is.
Okay. I think it will smoke it, but just hold for a bit longer. Is it just me and you here? Anyone else here? Just me and you.
PC's patience.
Okay.
Good communication between the 1-2 communication.
You can see our player on the left-hand side here. I believe that is that's Killinger at the front of the player cam there, getting all on his tiptoes, trying to peek over those walls.
Land on Jordan for SMC, in the front of the camera for us. And wow, what lovely legs he has.
Stunning, darling. Honeyhalf here, just waiting around this corner, trying to maybe catch anyone if he can. But you can see the positioning of SMC Tactical, kind of not really.
We're getting across now. I think Sinkas has crossed the road. He's not been engaged. It's a clear cross. This will probably empower Peasley to do the same.
Yeah, which it seems like he is doing right now as well. Yeah, so we've got 2 onto the other side of this main road. But I think the reasoning is you've got all of them looking inwards towards the objective rather than out to the, to the ability of their opponent to come in, which is, it seems it's quite a dangerous strategy.
Yeah, I mean, if you can see SMC on the map, they're covering the northwest and they were covering the north.
Sinkas is getting in there now. He's going to be making his way towards. And there's Mr. Beefy, who is on the eastern side of the map, defending for SMC Tactical. Checking the map here from Sinkas. He might have information on Mr. Beefy.
An SMT player has gone down. I believe it is Pound Cake has been taken out of the running. It's hard to see who took him out. I can't see where the...
I mean, if you look at the actual positioning of opponents and you see where the death occurred, it doesn't seem like anyone could have got a shot like that.
So I think it was the Marsok in the bottom right-hand corner, sorry, in the southeast of the map.
I see.
That's a long shot. Look at that.
That is incredible.
Wow, look at the camera work there. Well done, cameraman. Just lining it up to show us how it happened.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Long
all the way
shot.
down there. Very, very nice. You can see now Captain Soda making his way down this way. Might get caught out by the same player. Is that...
Oh, wow, look at Beefy and Sinkas.
This is so close.
So close.
The height advantage here for Mr. Beefy is very important about this one. Will he give up that position? Sinkas
making a lot of noise. It's really important to point out that he's running around like a fool, and Beefy will be hearing this. The footsteps are so important in this game. That's why he's crouching, he's keeping quiet. Sinkas, on the other hand, is just showing his position audio.
It's huge, though, Mr. Beefy giving away his height advantage. He's got a grenade, just throws it over the other side to cover his backside.
What a clever play. He throws it behind him, keeps his eyes forward.
Sinkas coming around the other side. He hears that noise. He's going to come around the side.
It's a trade.
It's a trade.
Beefy's still alive, though. Important to note. Sinka down. Biffa not down. Well, he is down, but not out, should I say.
Yeah. So that bleed out's going to happen. 2.5 minutes until he's gone. But that will be the end of the round in that time. So,
yeah, 2 minutes left on the clock. That flew by.
Yeah, it's been a very intense game in this second round here. Moyles.
Now, are SMC going to risk a res? One of the defenders will have to go well out of position to get to him. If you look at his positioning there, it's really hard to get there. He'll have to go down one of the roads.
Yeah. It seems like there is a player at the very, very bottom of the map who's closest, like just to cross the road from him, but he does have to cross that road with that beginner's player in the southeast covering that road.
Oh, he'll punish that. If that SMC player attempts to cross, he will get cut down.
We've got Killinger here making the play along the central street too.
That was a really brave move by Killinger. Straight down the street there. It's often covered by multiple angles.
The thing is, like, they've got 3 players left to take out. You know, they haven't got time to deal with. They've got about a minute left. Beginners, you know, we know that they're known for this. They are known for this kind of like slower play and then this, you know, crucial and excruciating end. But
Beefy executed, by the way, in the meantime.
Yep, taken down. There's another.
Oh, Honey Half gets taken down by Peasley as he pushes up.
Yeah, that was Peasley on the very, very lower side. We did see that, and he does take him down officially. 4-2 now with a minute left on the clock.
Oh, Killinger's so close to the objective. Could this be another uplink?
Jordan's
He's cleared the path.
No.
Lando punishes him.
But he did get a KO in the process. They know where he is. Maybe they can
Single defender remains.
40 seconds to go. Will it be a cap or will it be an elimination? It's an elimination. Beginners 2-0.
Listen, Beginners would have wanted that cap, but they'll be happy with that. That puts them 2-0, and now they're on defense as well. That puts them in a very, very commanding position.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they'll be able to hopefully get this one out 3-0, and it's just a case of just getting one more victory and putting SMT out of the tournament. SMT?
SMT?
I said SMT. I'm thinking of Shin Megami Tensei. I'm sorry. SMC Tactical would be out of the tournament if they do lose this map. So they are 2-0 down. They've got a lot to bring back if they want to get this to a third map.
It was interesting that psychological warfare that happened between Mr. Beefy and Sinkas earlier. You could see Beefy knew where Sinky was, but it's almost like sixth sense some of these players have. That Sinky, even though Beefy wasn't making any noise, assumed there would be a player there and responded accordingly. He was running back and forth on one side of it, and then quickly makes a rotation round and comes from a different direction. Beefy hears it, but Sinky came out firing, they both came out firing, they both went down. It's a really interesting psychological effect of coming out pre-firing and using that noise, knowing you've made that noise as well. You know, see, in other games, obviously everyone makes noise, but this, if you go low and slow in real life in this, you don't make noise. So when you're up and running, you're making that noise, and you're aware you're making that noise.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's about, there are some games where you can't turn it on and off, really.
No.
Or, you know, you'll make a certain amount and that's just it. But here it's deliberate. It's you know, intentional.
Yeah.
So 2-0 up. The beginners here mounting their defense.
Round 3 begins. And SMC are away. They've got to be feeling the pressure now. 2 points separate them, leaving here in 4th place.
Some early fire from, I believe, beginners.
Wow,
there.
Captain Sober's been made. He knows he's been made. The bullet's missing him by millimeters. But the main thing, he's still alive.
Smiles here in the middle of the market. Down on the floor immediately.
What will be interesting is that the SMC player would have called out which direction Sober came from, so they'll know the spawn points, they'll know tactically the tactical viability of approaches from SMC Tactical.
Yeah, it seems like they're going for an iron defense. You've got 4 players very near the objective and then only 1 further out in the center, but we do have a player now making their way around the western side of the marketplace.
Again, if they get that uplink, it'll put them even Steven, and an uplink is 2 points, but requires the player to drop the wall to be undefended while they enter a 7-digit code, which they have to memorize.
I think that the fact that the memorization is the most important part of that. You know, under pressure, can you remember 7 digits?
Well,
that doesn't sound like it's too high a task, but it really is when you're in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, this objective is an interesting one because it is, again, really hard to defend. It's at a point where there's a level above as well, so you can go up a story, which gives you more visibility across the map. Now, the objective, you can't stand near the objective and be safe on this one. If we get a view of it at some point, I'll describe it, but basically the objective is in the open. So you can't be stood on the objective safely. You have to do these sweeps, and there's no cover in between you when you do this sweep, so you'll do a sweep out into the open, and you can get done. If there is a Marshock player watching the objective, they can easily cut you down when you do a sweep to make sure there's no one capping. So it's a really horrible one to defend. It's no harder necessarily because you can defend those approaches, but to be immediately close to the objective, it's really intimidating.
We're 2 minutes down here, 1/3 of this round. No contact between the 2 players, or 2 teams, just yet. But it's slowly getting towards that point as there is an encroaching SMC Tactical upon the base of beginners.
There we go. Look at Landon John's location compared to Sinky.
Sinky's going to be coming. Oh, throw some fires. Does throw some fire out. Sinkas does respond to that, but is it the response he wants?
So smokes are going out, and these aren't smokes necessarily to cover the visual, it's to cover the audio. So you can hear that noise. It's
Kensai was ready and waiting.
Look at that defensive position. It only covers 1 entry of a map that big, and it paid off.
Everyone is so close. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, this is scary for Killinger.
Killinger gets it!
Killinger gets that KO. That is huge. 1 down, though, for beginners as well.
Wow, Lando just rushed in, takes down 1, takes 5 from behind, but doesn't get hit. Kansei's going to come around straight into Lando's fights. Lando gets another one.
It's 2 apiece, but they're
closing down.
There's a down for SMC.
Wow, it's 1-on-1 now.
Oh, my word. Here we go, Mr. Beefy.
Punishing Killinger as he came round and took down.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's cool. Listen, we got Peasley on defense now. He's the sole survivor. What is Beefy doing?
Making some noise.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't realize it's 1-on-1 and he's giving away his position. Peasley zeroing in on it. Looking for that wood penetration. They're both blind firing through. Oh my god, they're both trying to get the penetration damage.
Oh, this is so... Oh, and
Peasley picks it up!
Wow, 3-0 to beginners.
Wow, that was intense.
You can see Peasley happy with that one. Smoyles was celebrating there a little bit. His victory dance, as you said. There he is. Happy with that victory that he managed to get.
Nice.
Sinkas there, very
wow,
very
that was so close, so intense. Great play by Ponecake as he penetrated in.
Man, you were sitting there talking about that penetrable, what's the word I'm looking for? Object damage, is what I'm looking for. It was a little bit weaker. Those bullets needed to fly through, but it was just blind firing at that point. It was headless chicken levels of blind firing. But wow.
It was an interesting play. I'm not sure why he was giving away his position so readily. Maybe he thought he had the final beginners player zeroed, but that wasn't the case, and he actually gave it away to Peasley. Peasley knew exactly where to fire, and it was just a matter of time. I mean, he was telegraphing his position.
This is very important now for SMC. They are 1 map down. They are 1 round, 1 point away from being out of this tournament. They have got a mountain to climb now. It's not insurmountable, it's not. But, you know, they've got to get together. And I'm really interested to listen to the comms of these players in this game to see how they go forward. So SMC Tactical is who I want to listen to right now.
No, what? Yo, they're gonna spot us. What?
Players moving out, mounting the defense.
We saw Pancakes momentum in that last one as he penetrated in, took out 3 players. He put himself in a position where they had to counterattack him because he was so close to the objective. Are we going to see
early start from SMC Tactical. You could hear the yell from our player as he got taken down very early there. Scary stuff for him. SMC Tactical in a good, strong start. Ooh.
Wow. I believe it might have been Kensai who was taken out on the side of beginners. A good pickup early off by SMC. They're going to like that. They know there's 4 enemies left. They know where the spawn point was now, so they're going to be hopefully adapting their defense to cover those entry points. What's really interesting is look how far away from this objective. Look exactly how far away from this objective this defense is on the northwest corner. That defensive play right there.
That's really far out, yeah.
But it's paid off. He's already got a pick off from there. They know there's an enemy. The Marsok know there's a Volk in the area. They're trying to find him. Where is that sneaky little pancake? Sneaky little pancake. There he is. They don't know he's there, though. The thing is, this shuts down that attack approach, right? So it's really important to know that because they know there's someone there, it puts pressure on them now. They can't move around freely. They can't flank freely because they're aware one of the players is being taken down. They're being called out. They don't know if the defenders are looping around. And this puts that entire approach, that entire flank, in a back foot.
Yeah, Pancake still quite far out at this point. There are multiple players near him. We've got Dr. Killinger on the far side, looking down the very back of this map to try and see if he can find a way around the back side to get to the objective.
Sinkas loves going around the back side, looking for objectives. He's very good at the flank. Sinkas is famous for going around on the flanks.
You can see him there just about to step out. This might be if we have... did Sinkas see Pancake, though?
That was an interesting little tactic that Sinkas used. You see he never stands still. He's always left, right, left, right, left, right, because there's that moment, if someone sees him, they might try and snap off that shot, and there's a high probability of missing that shot, and then Sinkas knows they can zero down. There's a cross happening. Another beginners has been taken down. Pancake.
Ooh, that's Sinkas getting that KO that he wanted on Pancake, who did manage to get a second KO, it seems.
But Pancake's defense has paid off. It was him for 2 beginners.
And that's very good.
Yeah. That's a trade they'd be willing to make.
So beginners here as Marsok.
It's interesting, they brought more players into the northwest. Even though originally there was 3 up there, they brought in a 4th to flank. That 4th got taken out. Now there's 3 Marsok/attackers/beginners left. And they're repositioned. Look, they've made all that noise up in that corner. They've got a kill, and now they're sweeping away from there because they are perfectly aware that SMC will think that they're in the northwest.
And they're sticking to the back lines and inside the buildings as well.
Yep.
Sota going for a nice little dance there in the corner.
Yep. Very funky.
Saturday Night Fever for him, or Sunday Night Fever. Firing some shots there from Smoils to kind of get a little bit of attention. Moves immediately from that window.
Yep. Making some penetration shots towards the objective, just putting pressure on them.
Mr. Beefy as well.
You know, he timed his shots. It's really important to know that he timed his shots as his teammates crossed an open road. They weren't in the open road, but they can still be seen. So he was drawing attention away from that movement.
Yeah, as they went.
Great timing.
2 minutes and 15 seconds left on this round.
Small's pushing across the road. It's always risky crossing these roads. There's cover, but it's not that much.
Yeah. Very wide, too. You've got to make it a long way.
Great coordination between this team right now.
Yeah. You can see them crossing at the same time.
Are looking to the northwest, thinking a flank is coming from the north.
There is one of the players on the far eastern side of the map there for SMC Tactical, looking down to the southeast, as we do have Dr. Killinger on that far side. Clever stuff. Sinkas making his way through the building now. Perhaps going to try and find someone as he goes for a clear, if possible. Looking into the center of the...
It's interesting, they're really spreading out beginners right now because every one of the players is an island. They want to draw the attention away as far as possible. In other maps, you'll see stack-ups between teammates, but in this one, we're seeing them drawing the far away. Because if one gets spotted, one gets taken down. There, one taken down.
Yeah, one taken down indeed. That, I believe that was into the center.
Oh, Smoils gets taken down as well by Beefy.
That means we've got one player left inside the building, and that is Sinkas, who is alive, or hanging on, as Dr. Killinger is...
They're keeping SMC, keeping the dream alive right now. Killinger psychologically wants to get in. It's the risk-reward of getting Sinky up. Will he get there before Honeyhalf gets the kill?
On objective.
He's up.
And Sinkas, again, was able to call out. He didn't get killed, so he's got visibility on the objective and saw an enemy on the objective.
Oh, Sinkas was there. Taken out.
Refrag isn't coming, killing a repositioning node to get away from the line of fire.
Gets around the backhand side as well. He's going to be making his way to that fight.
Oh, he's taken down.
Getting in, and SMC with the shout, the cheer for that victory there. 3-1 then between these two. A solid defense of potentially a map and game losing round.
Well, I just want to bring you back to yesterday between Mob Squad and Globochem. Mob Squad were 1 map up, 2 points up, and then that was the last point they got. They got a map, they got 2 points, Globochem on 0 points, and then Globochem managed to bring it 8 points in a row to win the day, to put them into the grand final. Are we going to see something similar from the SMC Tactical? It's possible. They could bring back this map and then take the next map. We saw it yesterday. There's a point difference in what we're seeing, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, they were as well on defense that round. So again, there's this other element of the cap. If they get it, you know, we suddenly have a 3-3 scenario, and that just changes it all up again. You know, we cannot underestimate the power that a cap has in these kinds of games. That was a very important hold by them. Very, very well done. They can't stop here. You know, this is just the beginning of the fight back.
It's interesting. We see Beefy now drawing on the board. Maybe calling some tactics, maybe doodling, who knows. But it's interesting in that last map, we saw a really fractured attack from beginners. They did a good flank around, but they got spotted by that East defender, which you pointed out.
Yeah.
And then they kind of adapted to it and realized what was happening.
I think that was really nice, because you had their Eastern player who was just covering all of the nooks and crannies, and you had on the far side someone who had an entire view of that courtyard and was able to kind of find the picks and allow the other team, send over the information that they needed.
In a hurry, man. Don't let them see it. And also go to there as well.
Round 5, map 2, beginners Volk on defense.
Your choice.
They need 1 point to face off against Mob Squad, with a chance of making it to the grand final.
Go, man. Go the way I showed you. South, man.
Go which way I showed you. Which way? Confident comms there. I like it. Oh man, I do like the beginning of these maps. And you hear that coordination, just kind of like all the initial information being spread out amongst the teams and then moving in with that.
All right, we got a spread defense now. You can see they've got a good defense lineup on this objective. We've got 3 within reaching distance from beginners on the objective, and we've got 2 spread out to the northwest to cover a south flank and a north flank. Look how close now Landon Johnson is to the objective. He's about 5 meters away from it.
Wow, yeah, this is good stuff from him. There's a player there who was just on the other side of a wall there. Landon very aggressive right now. Still moving in, Dr. Killinger, and look at how close they are together here.
Just making a lot of noise. Landon so deep right now. This could be such a game maker right now if he can penetrate, and Killinger's going to come from... Killinger down.
1 down.
2 down. Landon making a great attack.
Lando being...
Beefy about to take out Kensei maybe if he looks up. Oh, no. Beefy's going to get taken down as he ran to the...
He got it. He got the KO.
Wow.
It is a 5-1 right now. SMC Tactical making their way towards the cap. Will they get this point?
They didn't get the cap, but they did get the point. A great attack. See, this was what I was talking about. That round was over so quickly. Yeah. And I said SMC are going to be the ones to do a quick attack, and it's exactly what they did.
Wow, yeah, and they were looking for maybe getting that cap, but it wasn't an elimination. It's not the 3-3 it could have been, but 3-2 is a good start after having went 3-0 down. It's not done yet. This is
they're still in this. They're still in this. It's unfortunate because the single defender that was left alive was nowhere near the objective. So if there had been a bit more communication, and we saw this in quarantine from the little bit of lack of communication on the objective that led to them not getting that uplink. We saw it again just then. I know it was in the thick of the action, but that single defender was nowhere near the objective. If they'd realized that, and if the communication had been there, an uplink would have been very possible, because that single player would have to make a 10-15 second sprint to even get line of sight on the objective, let alone line of sight on the person uploading the uplink.
Yeah, that was just, such explosive play from SMC Tactical, and it worked so well for them. I mean, Landon particularly getting that double KO as well.
Fantastic play. Momentum is so important in this game. I know we see a lot of players being static in the defense and moving very carefully, but when we see this momentum, especially on a map like this, because you can get momentum around a corner and you get the peeker's advantage, it can change everything. And we've seen it from more than anyone really. SMC showing the power of the momentum if you don't get picked out.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, that was a defensive game for beginners as well. So they're going to be on the offensive this time. They can't stall it out, which they usually, which we know that they are very good at doing.
Can I just point out how brave that was of SMC? That was such a really risky attack, but they did it even though if they'd lost it, they would be out right now.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Do it. Okay.
Okay, immediate comms done. And players getting into their positions. Killinger, Sincas, Kensai moving as one unit straight through.
Oh, it's a really aggressive play from beginners. Remember, this is the same objective that they were just defending.
Yeah,
Lando on top, next to two. Oh my gosh!
Behind.
They're back to back. They don't realize they're next to each other. This is insane.
This is what
is happening here?
Oh my word!
Oh my god!
Leave.
Oh my god! What just happened? Landon charging to the defense now.
Outstanding from.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Okay, Sincas just facing the corner. Why not? Looking out the other way here. His back is turned. He is vulnerable if anyone wants to come near, but you can see that all of the
that was so
team.
Sincas would have heard that, but would have thought it was killing or above him.
Yeah, exactly. That's, I guess, a danger for being so close all the time.
Wow.
Incredible play.
And now Sinky turns around. He has no idea what almost happened. Same as Landon. Landon had no idea how close he was to making a real big game-changing play there.
Such a moment that was, but you can again. He's looking back this way now. Sincas. Both players just kind of being very lucky there.
So we got
they've seen each other.
Sink being seen now. Landon giving away his position for Sink, also giving away his position. We got Beefy covering the north sector alone. Look at this. We've got a Marsok player, a beginners player on the west side, all alone, nowhere near the objective. Really odd play.
Yeah, I think maybe just trying to scope out if anyone's come around the flank, which is a good idea because Mr. Beefy is making his way around that very northern part of the map right now. He does get taken down though.
By Killinger in the window.
Very nice Killinger catch there. So it's one enemy down, one step closer to the losers finals against Mob Squad.
A good duel between Landon and Sinky right now. Trading bullets back to back. At one point, obviously.
Smoils as well, crouching, making his way towards Honey Huff.
Again, Smoils is in a defensive area, but due to the penetration on wood, he could get taken down even behind that.
What's really nice as well is he's got the support of another player just behind him, I believe.
Oh, look at this fight between Sinkhouse and Landon.
Coming out, and it goes in the face.
Oh, it's a trade! Oh, no, wait, is it a trade?
No, it's not a trade. No. We'd already had Beefy taken down in the top corner. So that is a KO, and that is a 4v4 now. Yep. Well done from Landon there.
Oh, that was such a long duel between them, and one they weren't even aware they were doing at the beginning. Oh, no, another defender taken down. Oh, near the
I believe it might have been Killinger again. You can see it's near his position.
Landon's still alive. We've got Pancake still alive. Honeyhoff's still alive. Smoils. 3 of them, all that stands between beginners.
Smoils and Pancake, they are near each other. Pancake coming out of the building, maybe, or just kind of scouting and then going to leave that one.
SMC on the back foot here. They are literally, these 3 players are all that's keeping them in this tournament right now.
Dr. Killinger ducking there as he feels the pressure.
Dr. Killinger then in that case.
Oh.
See what I did?
Well, yeah, I did see what you did, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, very, very clean. Look at these two. Landon Jordan is waiting. He's been there for a long time. That is a dangerous position. These angles he's finding, very important.
Killinger giving himself away. Did Landon catch it? Doesn't seem like it.
His stakeout almost. We look on this southeastern side as well. You may notice that one of the beginners players has moved up from the western side, up to the north, and making his way around these buildings.
Smiles and Poking really close together. Killinger then knows there's a defender near him, giving away his position happily, just talking, because it drags that defender's attention away from it. Again, the sound propagating through the walls. Landon would have heard it. He already knows Killinger's there. Killinger's aware of that.
Yeah, these two have just been at it for ages. Killinger just kind of, I think, happy just
What we're seeing here actually is counterintelligence. He's giving false intel to Landon. He's saying, we're going to rush the building now. So Landon is... No, they're shouting at each other. Landon knows he's there. He's calling out Killinger. I can see you in the corner there, buddy.
Head is showing. Ducks.
God, this game is great.
At this point, we do have players moving in. Smoils, who's on the lower side, and...
But Killinger's happy to be up there making this noise, calling Landon out, because what it means, the rest of the players are free to move up while that single defender is there. And Honeyhalf and Pwnecake nowhere near that objective. Well, I suppose, actually, Honeyhalf is relatively...
Throws a grenade to get a little bit of attention. There's a smoke out.
Tactical smoke there. Landon, intimidated by that smoke, worried he's going to get rushed now, so he falls back to the objective.
Interesting as Smoils tries to maybe make a move here. Honeyhalf waiting just behind.
Landon getting some courage back, getting back next to that window.
It's a minute to go.
Kensai flanking round now. He could push in on that objective. There is an alleyway north of the objective, which Kensai is going to be pushing down any second.
Yep, he's going there now.
Pwnecake and Honeyhalf could pick him off as he comes round, though.
I like how Smoils as well.
He's in the... He's gone past the alleyway. Okay. Look at this. At the end of that alleyway is the uplink.
Throwing out the shot, though. That's going to be a dangerous one. But you can see that there are two players catching and looking down the entire thing.
Oh, Smoils.
Oh, no, he looked away! He looked down and away!
He checked the window as he crossed, and it was exactly the wrong moment, unfortunately. Kensai now near the objective. He could get an uplink. He's just made the cross. One defender left. Two attackers left, one defender.
That's all they need is one KO or the uplink. That's all they need right now.
Kensai's going for the uplink. Pwnecake now is pushing round. He's aware that he's the only one left, but will he make it in time?
Something. Will he get a Killinger?
Killinger and Pwncake's at one-on-one now.
Oh my word, this is so close.
Around.
5 seconds left.
It's a
trade! SMC Tactical win it!
Wow, 3-all! Unbelievable! Milliseconds in it, one bullet separating the two, and it's down to the final round.
Every single time the trades are so close, half a second in it. I want to see a replay of just how close that was if we have one.
That was just intense.
That is a very, very close difference, but it's 3-all. That's definitely one for after the game, I think, when we get in it. 3 apiece. Here it is. This is the moment.
Look at this play. Pwnecake, the sole survivor of his team. Kensai getting that uplink. Let's see this again.
Trying to, yeah. He noticed that Killinger went down. He heard the shots. Killinger comes around, and here's the trade.
Wow.
Oh my word.
Wow.
It was literally...
Look, Killinger falls a millisecond
like
before Pwnecake.
A frame almost. That is nuts.
Crazy. Crazy. Rock and sock 'em onwards, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a nuts game. 3-3 then at the absolute end of this second map. Whatever happens, whoa, it'll be a good one.
Wow.
These players are going to be very, very vocal, I feel, at the start of this one.
SMC keeping the dream. They're doing it. They're really doing it. They're doing a Globochem right now.
They're doing it, Peter. Yeah.
They were on the back foot, and they've got now 2 points. They just need one more, and then go to the third map.
Yeah, they went down 3-0. They've done the reverse 3-0, and it's all going to come down to map number 7 on Bazaar. And I think this is why we're so excited to see this map. It is so tough.
Real.
So exciting. Onward, man.
Yep. Such a great game. Such a great game. It really is. It's a great. I know. I mean, we're commentating for it right now, so I have to speak. I have to speak good of it, right? You know. But
could you imagine if not? Rubbish. No, rubbish.
It's a really average game, ladies and gentlemen. Watch as they play this below par game.
Wow.
You really could be playing something better.
Wow.
Onward is so
That's
good.
The one.
You can see the intensity of the plays at this level as well.
Okay, let's go. Final round of this second map.
Try it again. Give it to him again. I don't think they can stop.
Let's not do this stuff.
Oh, did you hear the confidence?
No,
I don't think they can stop us.
Do what you normally do. I'm going to try to make it. Go for it.
Go for it. They've made a call. They're going to be aggressive, it seems. We are back down to the bottom side of this map. Look at that aggression from the left-hand side of SMC Tactical. They can taste map 2. One player down.
Ooh, that confidence. Now they've been blunted.
There's a triangle formation in the corner of that alleyway. They have got
Smoils right. There's a player. Smoils gets taken down.
Beefy gets a kill back.
Look at that confident grenade there, straight into the objective area. It's a smoke grenade, but it's going to be drawing their attention straight to the objective this early on. They can't ignore a smoke on the objective this early on.
Landon Jordan making his way just outside of this marketplace, this courtyard. There's someone there. He saw someone. Gets taken down. I don't think he did. But the beginner player did.
He crosses. Who actually took him down, though? It wasn't the guy in the window. That guy in the window has been taken down, though, by someone else.
Oh, wow. It's 3 KOs now for SMC Tactical.
Beefy on the objective, pretty much. There's one defender left.
Oh, my word. Peasley's by himself. He's going to move out. He's going to get taken out right now.
Oh.
Maybe Peasley.
Are they going to get a cap? No, they're not risking it. Pwnkick above Peasley now.
Mr. Beefy is so near the objective. Peasley has to be careful. It's all on him, or we're going to map 3.
Oh my gosh, 3-on-1. Peasley knows he's the sole survivor. He can cover the objective quite handily here, but
dangerous times. SMC.
Peasley, a more than competent player. Can he hold a line? We've seen him make some great plays earlier in this map.
How close these two are right now, and you've got just slightly to the south is another player.
Yeah. Do SMC know that there's only one single defender left? That makes such a difference because they know he's in there. They can hear him walking around. If they can call out he's the sole defender, they can just rush that position. Are they going to wait for the third attacker to come into position before they push? If I was... Sorry, go ahead.
No, just pulling out that thing. He's getting ready, maybe trying to learn that code. This is the moment. Beefy's making the play towards the objective. Someone's fallen down as well.
Yep.
Pwnkick's coming through, maybe Peasley.
Ooh, he's doing the Pwnkick's doing the objective. Oh no, he's not. Oh!
It goes down! SMC Tactical takes it!
Oh, it goes to map number 3. SMC keeping it alive, bringing it back. They were on the back foot and they have just charged forward from it.
There is the reverse sweep. 3-0 down for 4 straight games. Beginners were on the, match point. Absolute match point. And SMC Tactical managed to bring it all the way back. Incredible play from them.
Beginners showing so much confidence to begin with, and then they were just on that tip. They just needed to push it over that little bit. Remember, there was 2 against 1, and all they needed to do was take out that single defender, and they just couldn't do it. Killinger and Kensai getting taken down and to try to get the cap. Could it have been seen as a bit greedy, trying to get that 5th point rather than the 4th point of just eliminating the enemy team?
Yeah.
We'll never know, but the point is that SMC Tactical are back in this. It's going to map number 3. What a game.
And that's going to be on Cargo, which is going to be very, very exciting. Beginners played on this yesterday, and it didn't go their way, but it is 1-1. They've shown so much confidence. They took that first map with an early cap. They had the 3-0 lead. They've got the chops to win this.
Yeah, they absolutely
But they just cannot give SMC Tactical an inch, because they will take more than just a mile.
Yeah, that's like technology.
Indeed. To go through that incredible map, we are going to throw it back to the analyst desk with Matt, Pansy, and Nightfire. Guys, take it away.
Cheers, Barry. Cheers, Radar. You're going to have some more fun. We're going to get the 3rd map. We wanted it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure we were going to get it after the first one. Really didn't think it was going to happen when Beginners were 3-0 up in the second.
Not at all. When you're down like that and Beginners are rolling over you, they've won 1 map already and they're coming in hot. They're 3-0. It's so incredibly hard to stay focused as SMC Tactical.
Yeah.
But these guys, it's almost like the pressure fueled them. You know, they started to feel it. They needed these wins, and they just started to pick up the pace a little bit, game by game, round by round.
And for me, I'm not going to lie to you, I was quite surprised by Beginners losing the amount of 1vx situations. That became a big factor. You talk about pressure coming in for SMC. They stepped up to the plate, whereas I feel Beginners fell off it a little bit. There's the theory of unforced and forced errors. Sometimes a team can make you make mistakes. It happens. However, I do feel a little bit here, Beginners were kind of getting a little into their own heads. Look at this, look how clean these opening rounds were as well. They were looking dominant. It wasn't looking like SMC were going to turn up here.
Yeah.
I heard the guys on there saying, yeah, people, maybe tipping SMC to be able to come this one back. No, not going to happen. Beginners looking solid. Look at this.
Yeah, this
look
is
at this
great
dominance.
play, isn't it?
Yes.
This is confident. I'm not going to wait for you to come for me, even though we are Beginners and we play it slow and stealthily. I think I'm going to make the kill.
They've only lost out on 1. So many of these rounds were just very clear cut. They were good individual plays from the other team, but they didn't look cohesive until obviously the turnaround happened.
That's Beefy dying.
Yeah, and to kind of play off what we were talking about earlier with being able to shoot through wood. We saw a lot of wood play here, a lot of bullets flying through there. I remember one time Beefy
Now this round.
Yeah, this is the comeback here. I can't believe the 3-man swing. absolutely fantastic job by SMC Tactical. I think it actually comes up in...
It was round 3
yeah,
too,
round 3, sorry. But very impressed.
And to be fair, if you look at the start of it as well, beginners were getting a lot of entry kills, untradeable, and this was crazy. Back to back, look at them, no one aware.
That's amazing. They didn't even realize when, when he ran away either.
Yep.
The plays here went mental.
Was that?
Yeah. People were roaring at him.
I'm wondering if that was the same player who then eventually went around and actually destroyed them in the end. I don't know if it was, but regardless, this is the moment right here that I'm sure you could talk about.
This is the one I was referencing. An absolutely fantastic play. What you see here is Kensai trying to get his pad out and cap on this objective. He has to move a little bit closer to it. He can't sit behind that wall and cap it, and Pwnk tags him just in the nick of time. Killinger tries to come around here after hearing it, and this trade. I mean, take a look. It's so close.
And SMC get that because basically just a fraction later he died.
The reaction time gets SMC Tactical the map. Basically.
You can see how much it meant to them right there as well. And I love seeing that. I love seeing people show that. Yeah, it matters. Of course it matters.
Yeah, when you die, you are sitting there watching your teammates try and perform. And so you have this anxiety building up as you see him competing. And once you see him get that final kill, the teams are erupting too, not just the people down here watching.
Yeah, and you've got to say a lot of the times that the last round is often the hardest in these games. For some ungodly reason, no one knows why, but it always feels that way, whether it be in any FPS game.
Yeah.
You could be leading up by 3, up by 15, getting that final closing round. It always feels like for some reason you start making mistakes. People overextend to try and make it happen. They want to make their team, they want the wins. They get a little bit desperate. They make those small errors that then accumulate into big errors.
Yeah. Do you want to see that trade again?
Keep rolling.
Yeah, I can't believe that a game's going to come down to something like that. I mean, this is Pwnk just playing out of his mind. It's a 3-man swing right here. He gets one earlier.
You can just catch what Kensai's doing here. So he's trying to cap it now, which would have been 2 points for beginners, and they are through to the next round.
Yep.
But you have to come out a little bit further than you want to, don't you? Then?
Yeah, he pulled the pad out there trying to cap it, and he had to push a little bit further. I mean, the closeness between this game was fantastic. We're going to Cargo next.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to see what kind of skill level these guys
We're going to see Cargo, and we're going to see Sinkus back in for Woods, I think, for beginners. It was interesting watching the stage. Just as that final map ended, you saw a shot of SMC Tactical celebrating that they'd got the win. On the other side of the stage, Sinkus was on it. Woods hadn't left. Woods hadn't even taken his headset off. Sinkus is ready to take his place. Presumably, that's what they planned for Cargo, as opposed to Sinkus wading in and going, right, come on, I'm leading the charge.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see him in on Cargo, so we'll bring you that. Don't go anywhere, because this thing needs to be settled, and it's going to get settled on Cargo, and it's going to be hot. We'll bring that to you next.